You ever get that one letter that makes your blood boil? Mine came in a cheap white envelope, stamped with the HOA seal like it was some government order. The words inside were worse than a bad joke. Failure to pay fines will result in consequences. Your ranch is scheduled to be used for our upcoming community event. Attendance is mandatory. Now, here's the kicker. My ranch isn't even under their damn HOA. Never was. This is a working ranch sitting just outside the edge of their perfect little suburb. A place I built with my own hands, not from blueprints or bank loans, but with real work, sweat, and grit. No HOA rules, no committees, just land and labor. But apparently that didn't stop them from acting like they owned it. That letter wasn't a request. It was a declaration, an order written in fake authority. They wanted to use my ranch for an event without asking, and better yet, attendance was mandatory. It would have been hilarious if it wasn't so. Damn bold. Thing is, this wasn't their first stunt. A couple of weeks before, I caught some HOA folks trying to haul away my chickens, straight out of my coop in broad daylight. When I stopped them, they acted like it was no big deal. At the center of it was Karen Winters, HOA president, or at least she called herself that. When I asked her what the hell they were doing, she said, "They were too noisy, so we repurposed them for the block barbecue. You should be thankful. They fed the whole street." I couldn't believe it. That wasn't community service. That was trespass and theft. But Karen, she had a way of twisting the story until people believed her. And worse, they followed her. I hoped that was the end of it, but I was wrong. One hot afternoon, I was out by the barn replacing a broken fence post. That's when I saw the black SUV coming up the gravel road, slow, rolling like it owned the place. It stopped near the gate, and out stepped 4 men, dressed in cheap tactical gear, boots too clean to be real, and vests that read HOA Enforcement in bold letters. No badges, no IDs, just attitude. One of them, the guy with the mirrored sunglasses, marched up like he had authority. "This is your final notice," he barked. "Your refusal to pay fines has been noted. The HOA has claimed administrative rights to this land. If you don't cooperate, we escalate." I leaned against the fence post and gave him a cold stare. "This land isn't part of your HOA," I said. "You boys are trespassing." He grinned, reached into the SUV, pulled out a crowbar, and with one swing, he smashed my mailbox clean off its post. Metal hit the dirt with a hollow clang. "Consider that an example," he said. Tossed the mailbox to the side. His buddies laughed, snapped pictures, and drove off like they'd won something. I stood there, staring at the wreckage, knowing exactly what this was. They weren't enforcing anything. They were testing me, and they were going to come back. What they didn't know? Before this ranch, I was a Green Beret. I've dealt with worse than HOA bullies, and I wasn't about to roll over. That night, I started preparing. No weapons, no violence, just a few lessons in humility. First, I set up deterrents. Tripwires near the barn, snares in the brush, a few old nail boards hidden under dry leaves near the driveway. It looked like an ordinary ranch, but it was ready. Then I cleaned up my father's old Colt 45, oiled it, loaded a single round, just one. A warning, not a war. Then I waited, and sure enough, they came back. Same SUV, same 4, walking like they were on patrol, radios clipped to their belts. One of them was already holding the crowbar. The other had what looked like a real Glock, resting not so casually in his hand. "You had your chance," one of them yelled. "Karen says the barn's getting cleared today, with or without your help." I stayed on the porch, rocking slowly. Hand towel in one hand, Colt tucked at my back. I stood up, steady, voice level. "You boys like giving orders," I said, "but step off that gravel and you're on private land. Trespass, Texas Penal Code 30.5. Point that weapon, and it's aggravated assault. Code 22.02. 20 years. Easy." They didn't back down. They smirked, muttered into their radios. Again. One spit in the dirt and said, "We're done talking. Old man wants to play hardball. We'll show him hardball." They moved. Crowbar guy came first, swinging wide. I caught the bar mid-swing, twisted it from his hands, and drove my boot into his ribs. He dropped like a bag of feed. The guy with the Glock flinched, but too late. My Colt was already drawn. One shot cracked into the dirt. 6 inches from his boot, dust exploded. He froze. I swung the crowbar into his wrist. Gun hit the ground. He backed off fast, hand shaking. The other 2 tried to rush me. One hit the tripwire, fell face first into the gravel with a grunt. The last guy stepped onto the nail board. His scream echoed all the way down the valley. Blood on his boot. He hopped back like he'd been shot. 4 grown men, all moaning in the dirt. That's when the real sirens came. 2 sheriff cruisers barreled up the drive, lights flashing. Doors flew open. Out stepped Sheriff Colton Briggs, an old friend from service days. He took one look and grinned. "Figures. You always did handle things your own way." Within minutes, they were cuffed, loaded into cruisers, fake badges confiscated, charges filed, impersonating a peace officer, aggravated assault, trespass, destruction of property. property. And then came Karen. I handed Sheriff Briggs everything. The letter, the fake violations, video of the mailbox being destroyed. That was all he needed. She was charged with criminal mischief, conspiracy to commit assault, and HOA fraud. Judge didn't just fine her. He dissolved the HOA. Charter revoked. All illegal fines erased. Karen banned from holding any HOA position in the state ever again. Her clipboard snapped in two on the courthouse steps. As for me, I rebuilt the mailbox, stronger, painted it red, white, and blue. That evening, Sheriff Briggs and I shared a beer on the porch. Sunset on the horizon, goats grazing in the distance. You handled it right, he said. I holstered the Colt back on its shelf. Just protecting what's mine, I said.